What's up, everyone? Wanted to try to do something a little bit different today. Something more unscripted, more raw, a little bit more conversational. Just wanted to switch it up because normally I don't film anywhere besides inside of my bedroom. I normally don't go outside and vlog or anything like that, but I wanted to try to just end the year with a little something different. So if I suck at it, I'm sorry, but this will be good practice for me. So the other day, I actually hit 500 subscribers here on YouTube, and I was really stoked because I wasn't even sure if I would actually hit 500 by the end of the year. And for a second there, it was kind of pausing. It kind of paused for a bit. Normally I see like some days it'll be like a couple here and there, and then other days it'll be like maybe 8 to 10 or something like that. So when I kind of saw like the growth of it kind of stagnating towards the end of the year, I was like, oh man, I really hope I can hit 500 before the end of the year. And then it ended up actually happening. So I wanted to make a quick video saying thank you to you guys for supporting. And I actually started doing YouTube a little bit more seriously at the beginning of the quarantines. YouTube is something that I've always wanted to do, but never really fully taken the time to do it because I was always so busy freelancing and doing video work, to the point where it was always something that I always kind of put off, and I would always do it here and there, but I would never fully commit to it like as much as I've been committing to it this year, because now I had the time for it. Now I didn't have the excuse of time. So at the beginning of all of this, I made a video saying that I thought the pandemic would be a blessing in disguise, and so far it has been. Like, to me, I think we've all learned a lot this year. We've all like grew and suffered through all these different things that have been happening. I think deep down it's kind of good for us in a way, because when things are too good in life, or if things are just going too smoothly, then we kind of just take it for granted and we forget the fact that things can eventually kind of just go downhill. So taking the time to appreciate things a little bit more this year, just taking the time to appreciate the slower pace of life. And I was able to dedicate a lot of time to just making these YouTube videos, and I've been having a lot of fun doing it. And I just wanted to say thank you to all the people that have taken the time to comment, like, and view and subscribe to the videos. It actually means a lot to me, and it was actually really motivating to see it grow the way that it was growing, because I remember, I think it was maybe February or March when I first started around, I had about 220 subscribers, and now that I'm at 500, I more than doubled it, and I'm pretty happy about that. And it's something that I want to keep doing it. It motivated me enough to where this year I really wanted to prioritize like just making these videos, because it's something that I really enjoy. I find that freelancing and doing gigs isn't as fulfilling as it used to be. Not that I don't like it, not that I would stop doing it, but it's just like, it doesn't really excite me anymore. And I feel like I'm the type of person that I get the most excitement out of things that are challenging to me, and I get the most excitement out of like working towards some form of a difficult task. And I'm not saying that gigging and freelancing has gotten like really, really easy. Like, it's always going to be kind of difficult, but I remember it was my goal to be like an actively working freelancer, have my own like video business, and have a lot of clients and stuff. And not saying that I have a ton of clients, but to me, I feel like I kind of reached that point where I felt like that goal was achieved. It was kind of one of those things where once I got there, I didn't feel any sort of like that same satisfaction that you think you're going to feel when you want to do things. Like, you're always thinking to yourself like, oh yeah, things are going to be so great once it gets to this point, or once I get past like this number of money or clients or subscribers or whatever. And then I'm thinking when I got there with my freelancing, I was just kind of thinking to myself, if I were to keep doing this and only this for the next I don't know, 5-10 years, it's like I don't think I would feel very like satisfied. Like, I think deep down what I really wanted to be doing was just making videos for myself. And so before the beginning of this year, like I sat down with myself and really thought about it, and then I just kind of came to the conclusion that I would rather be focusing on creating my own content and trying to push myself more and more towards like working more for myself, even though like working for yourself doesn't 100% mean like working for yourself, but kind of getting it to a point where I'm working for myself as much as I can and kind of placing more things in control in my own actions. And with freelancing, it's like, yeah, you kind of have that option to a small extent, but at the same time, it's like you're still at the mercy of like someone hiring you, seeing your work, being reasonably priced, because in LA it's pretty competitive. So it's like if you charge too much, then sometimes you end up losing out on the work. So that can be kind of tough at times too. And I felt with YouTube, I've always been attracted to YouTube, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. Like even like way back when it first started, I've been watching YouTube and stuff since maybe a year or two after it was launched. And I don't know, I just found it so fascinating. So to have a year to where I can really just focus on doing that for the most part, it felt really satisfying. I haven't felt that sort of fulfillment in a while. So anyway, enough of me rambling, but the point of all that was like, now that I've started, I want to keep doing it. I want to keep trying to learn like how it works, and eventually my goal is to make it replace like my freelance income, because like I said, like it doesn't feel the same as it used to. I don't feel as excited to do it as I used to be, especially with this year. It kind of really just got me to sit down and think about what exactly I wanted to prioritize. And for me, like, it was basically this. And speaking of like this year, I was thinking about it a lot lately, and I was thinking to myself, like, what's the biggest like sort of takeaway that I've gotten out of this whole year? Because I'm sure with literally everyone can relate. Like, we all had some sort of big takeaway from this year because so much has happened. Obviously, I don't need to get into it. I'm sure we're all sick of hearing about it. For me, I felt like the biggest takeaway that I got out of this is learning how to slow down and just enjoy like the little things in life. And I thought about it, and back before, like while working a lot more, like being from LA, one thing I've kind of noticed is that I feel like a lot of people tie their identities and tie like their self-worth to what their jobs are. Like we all are so obsessed with becoming like successful in doing these things that we do, and LA has such a huge like hustle bustle culture that I find that with a lot of people it's very easy, including myself. I'm not trying to like talk shit or anything, but I find that a lot of us, we identify ourselves with our job so much that we place our self-value into it. We place our identity in our social media presence, our online presence, our business, or our success as an entrepreneur, basically. For a lot of people that works. Like for some people that's totally fine, like they get a lot of fulfillment out of doing it. I'm not saying there's really anything wrong with it. Since this year we've all were taken away from our work, it left a lot of people just to sit there with their thoughts and sit there with not really knowing what to do because the work's stripped away now. So if you are the type of person to identify yourself with your work and to have that taken away, you're basically losing like a big piece of you on the inside. And that's kind of how I felt in the beginning too. It's like being someone who was actively freelancing and to basically have that stripped away for most of the year, like felt like a piece of me was missing for a bit. But then switching over to making YouTube videos is kind of where I found that like that new sense of like belonging in a way. But along with having the work like stripped, having work like basically taken away, and having to figure out how to keep myself productive while still making videos. Like YouTube is kind of where I found that, where I was able to fill that hole, and I was still able to actively be making things and actively like practicing like my creative muscle and stuff. But along the way too, like since I wasn't as busy with work, it gave me a lot of time to just reflect and really think about what I value most in life. And for me, the biggest takeaway that I've gotten out of this year is learning to just appreciate the little things. Like I think when we get caught up in working and hustling and trying to like really expand our businesses, like we forget to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We spend so much time focusing on the next project, next gig, the next piece of gear that we're gonna buy, that sometimes we forget to just sit back and like just take a breath and like actually just appreciate like life. Like I was living to work basically. Because of that, like I felt like I wasn't really enjoying life as much as I could have been. Not that I was like miserable or anything, but got next to a horse track right now. What's up? But yeah, with this whole year, like since I was way less busy than I normally am, like it really, and being all locked up and shit, like it really gave me a perspective of appreciation for just all the things that I have in my life that I was too busy working to really pay attention to. Being able to spend more time with family, being able to have a little bit more intimate relationships with friends, and I got a new relationship this year too. That wasn't something I was expecting. I wasn't really looking for. I had just gotten out of one like actually a year ago today, and I wasn't really looking for anything new, but it kind of just happened. And because the pandemic like took away like all of the typical aspects of dating, it's like I was able to really sit with her and talk to her more in depth without all the distractions of, hey, let's go do this, let's go do that, where all those things are fun, but it kind of distracts from the main point of really trying to get to know somebody. So I feel like the relationships I do have, a lot of them just strengthened this year because of all that. Really learned to just enjoy it all more and take a step back and appreciate what we have, because like as we all know, it's like we have all this beautiful world around us, but we're too busy to actually appreciate it. And things can change like just like that, and everything can be taken away just like that. So we have to spend time like appreciating those things too. There's a reason why the richest people in the world can also tend to be the most miserable or be the ones with the most dysfunctional like relationships in their life, is because they work so much that they eventually become kind of unrelatable to the regular world, and they miss out on these normal experiences in everyday life, which to me is like, we're not people that are born to like work all the time. To me, I think we're just put here on earth to just kind of enjoy what's around us in a way. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I'm literally just talking. I was getting distracted by the people like walking by, so I kind of lost my train of thought a little bit. My main point is that we spend so much time working, and we identify ourselves with our work, and we measure our self-worth by how well we do at that work, to the point that that's really all our life is just work. If that works for you, that's great, but that doesn't really work for everybody. Like not everyone really has the personality type for that. I definitely learned that it's not really me. Like I kind of just learned that I want to have like a normal life. I don't really want to have a normal job, but want to be able to just sit back and enjoy things too. Don't be so tunnel vision to the point where it's like I can't enjoy like what's around me. Not that I'm gonna be lazier or anything, like I still have goals that I want to do, but I think to just have a better balance overall would be great. I think having that balance this year really showed, it was really like an A and B test of what it's like to work a lot versus to work not as much. But anyway, hopefully all my rambling makes sense. Hopefully I can edit it in a way that makes sense, because I was just kind of all over the place. But that's just my main takeaway for the year. It's like, identify yourself less with your work and just learn that at the end of the day, it's just work. Like, as much as I love my job and what I do, like, I don't want to just chain myself to it. I don't want to chain myself to labeling myself like with what my work is. Like, I just like doing it. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna end it at that, because I think I got through all the points that I wanted to make. Not structured at all, so hopefully this all makes sense. But Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. I hope you enjoy your 2021. Hopefully that Rona gets a little bit better, not as crazy as it's been this year. And yeah, catch you guys later.
Peace.